Oh yeah, welcome back to Degreelessness, everyone. I am, of course, your lovely host, the people's champion, 21st century digital boy, stunning and brave culture critic, and your good buddy in the mix, Shanghai Pete. Thanks for chilling with us tonight. Now, because the gaming news cycle does indeed roll inexorably onwards, but rarely these days with anything interesting enough to devote an entire video to, we once again have a bit of a recap episode. I call this one, no shit, because everything we'll be talking about today should be so obscenely obvious to anyone paying even the smallest bit of attention to the industry that it shouldn't need to be mentioned. But of course it does, because if we left this stuff to the regular shill channels and the perpetually baffled and shocked normies that everyone else watches, well, then we really wouldn't ever get anywhere, now would we? So without further ado, let's talk some shit, shall we? First up tonight comes from the horrifying dystopia of modern-day industry culture, Activision Blizzard. And I'm sure this will surprise no one who's a regular viewer of this channel, but it looks like Blizzard once again has found a way to lower the bar of common workplace decency below the already staggering depths they've previously succeeded in dropping it to. That's right, not only are they compensating employees with what essentially are company store points, but in a year where that cocksucker Bobby Kotick was raking in millions, they axed 800 plus people, and the ones lucky enough to be allowed to stay are getting paid so little that they've ended up basically revolting. Seriously, more company store shit? They do the same bullshit at my company too. We get points that we can cash in for garbage products. Like, you can trade 200 points for a shit backpack with the company logo that's probably worth all of $10. Fucking hooray. I certainly wouldn't rather have money. Now, I would almost say that this is all unbelievable, except that it's totally believable. It's actually perfectly in line with what we expect from Activision Blizzard as a company. Why wouldn't they treat their employees as horribly and with as much casual derision as they treat their customers? It makes complete sense if you think about it. So, now a bunch of the remaining employees are getting together to share their salaries in an attempt to force Blizzard to increase their compensation to something approaching reasonable. And good for them. I hope they get it. You should always discuss your salary with your fellow coworkers. The idea that it's taboo or rude or you shouldn't, it's only there as a means for the management to control you. Needless to say, fuck the hell out of that. It all really begs the question though, do they think this is honestly acceptable forms of recompense? Do they seriously think it won't get out and no one will find out? Do they just not care? Either way, insane, but also Blizzard mistreating their employees? Yeah, no shit. Moving on, enough time has now lapsed so that we've got some concrete numbers regarding precisely how The Last of Us Part 2 fared in the weeks following its release. I know I've said like a billion times that we're never going to talk about this game again, but I have a weakness for kicking stuff when it's down, especially when it deserves it, and simultaneously offers me a chance to gloat about constantly being right about everything. Okay, so check out these numbers. Last of Us 2 saw a 55.7 drop-off in its new player numbers from its first week to the following 38 days, 45 days after release as of August 2nd. This drop-off was only 18.5% for Spider-Man, 16.2% for God of War, 12.8% for Uncharted 4, and 19.7% for Horizon. Well. You hear that, guys? I do believe that I've detected the unmistakable sound of us being completely fucking correct. Once again, things played out pretty much exactly as we said they would. Damn, it's almost as if approaching the industry and news cycle from a place of rationality and brutal honesty easily reveals it to be the formulaic and performative exercise in consent manufacturing, gatekeeping, and corporate Marxism it's always been. Almost like it's being done on purpose, huh? Yeah, no shit. Next, let's briefly mention that new Avengers game. Apparently, a way to squeeze even more money out of customers for a mediocre product came to the attention of the Square Enix overseers, and naturally it's been exploited to almost comical proportions. Yes, some genius remembered that Sony technically owned Spider-Man, which provided the perfect opportunity to leverage the character's exclusivity to the PlayStation platform. No PS4, no fucking Spider-Man, bitch. Now, of course, this game is a live service, which immediately disqualifies it from being of any interest whatsoever to myself or, frankly, anyone with taste. But what you may not know is that it also looks like a garbage fire of low-effort character models and boring copy-and-paste third-person action gameplay, so generic it's borderline parody. If you're looking forward to this game, you're either irrationally optimistic beyond all evidence presented by reality, or just a fucking idiot. You're also going to be disappointed. Now, you may be wondering, well, if you don't care about this game and are just going to crassly insult anyone who does, why are you mentioning the story at all? Well, the answer should be obvious. I really really like talking shit, especially about industry establishment pet projects that are being platformed as the next blockbuster shit feast that we won't be permitted to dislike. So, I'm getting an early start. Oh, a AAA game with predatory monetization has implemented yet another shitty cash grab? Yeah, no shit. Now, up next, we have the pleasure of taking aim at a studio that Microsoft seems to be holding together with nothing but duct tape and the memory of a franchise that people used to love, 343 Industries. As you probably noticed yourself or heard from many others, Halo Infinite looks like shit. Not straight up objective irredeemable shit like that new Battletoads game, but comparative shit. And that's not because it doesn't look well put together, it does. In fact, the actual gameplay looked fine for the most part. The problem is that it looks well put together for an Xbox 360 game from 2010, while being used as what to many is the only justification for Microsoft's new console for 2020. If this was some indie game being developed as a labor of love by a small team of dedicated artists with limited resources and funding, then it wouldn't matter and no one would have any reason to be that critical of it. But this is the flagship title of a whole new console generation, and this level of visual polish and fidelity, it's unacceptable, inexcusable, and effectively is making the game have the opposite effect that a new flagship title should. This, of course, hasn't stopped 343 from offering pathetic and laughably transparent excuses as to why this is the case. They're saying it's an intentional retro look. Right, okay, so to advertise your brand new hardware as the must-have platform of the future, you decided intentionally to go with dated-looking graphics and visual presentation. That was on purpose, huh? Y'all sat around at a production meeting with your Microsoft chaperones and agreed that the best way to showcase the power of your new console was by making the brand new Halo game look old on purpose. Are you sure it's not because your entire studio is an embarrassing mess of outdated tech and abdication of responsibility that is barely capable of putting together a complete game at all, to say nothing of a good one or a Halo game at that? Fuck out of here. In a post, they said it's a shift back towards the legacy aesthetics that define the original trilogy. I hate to remind you guys, but one, you didn't make those games, and two, the original trilogy actually looked good for its time. And of course, if this wasn't superficially hollow rhetoric and you were serious about using a more classic Halo art style, whatever that means, I would have to imagine that there's a better way to pull that off than just making it look like it's 10 years out of date. So, Microsoft doing damage control by trying to spin this with an empty excuse written by marketing people bereft of sincerity, huh? Yeah, no shit. Oh shit, some super big news next. Huge upgrade to the PS5's backwards compatibility. What is it? Are we able to finally play previous gen PlayStation games? Perhaps using built-in emulators with such low processor footprints that my Switch can run them? Or maybe there's a hardware level solution being implemented so I don't need to buy another PS3 to replace my old busted one. Can I at least play my old PS2 games? Oh, nope, and fuck you. The big news and the huge upgrade to the PS5 backwards compatibility feature is that it can probably, most likely, ideally, maybe play all PS4 games without per game whitelisting. Wait, what? I thought it could already do that. I thought that was a given, and now I'm being told that this is some big feature that I should be throwing a party for? For fuck's sake, the PS5 and both new consoles, honestly, are essentially just a PS4 or Xbox that you have to buy again anyway for all the new games you'll be able to play on them. As far as I'm concerned, playing a PS4 game on that shit should be fucking baseline. These consoles don't even have any exclusive anyway. All the games advertised for them are PS4 games as it is. This is not a huge backwards compatibility upgrade, it's not even news. Yeah, no shit. And now just a fun thing, lastly, because of a new Leafy, really? Video, Pokemane Boyfriend started trending. Fucking hysterical, I know. And because I like to hand out seemingly obvious little nuggets of truth, I will once again bless YouTube with some real shit. Girls that look like Pokemane are getting fucked by someone, always. Whether the technicality of a title like Boyfriend is present or not doesn't matter in the least. Even fucking sixes get more dick thrown at them in a 24-hour period than an entire harem could satisfy. And let's be real here. Pokimane is probably a hard 9. You don't get to be as popular as she is while possessing 0 talent unless you're at least an easy 8. So you best believe that someone is railing that bitch. No fucking question about it. There is no such thing as a truly single woman. A woman is always involved in a sexual relationship with someone. I don't care what they look like. Alright, okay, maybe that's a little bit of an exaggeration. So, to be safe, we'll say 99% of women. Okay, now I know the people who watch my content aren't regular idiots, so you guys probably all know this already, but for those who may not, Shanghai Pete is here to help. So, oh my god, Pokimane is getting stuffed on the regular? Yeah, no shit. Okay, that was fun. Man, trying to do this YouTube shit is like building an insane asylum from the inside out, so you end up being the only sane one. With that said, though, it sounds like that we're at the close of yet another stunning and brave episode of Degreelessness. Thank you so much for chilling tonight and spending this little bit of your free time with us. We love you today. We love you all the way. I know I say that every time, but like we really do mean it. Sometimes the comments from you guys being like, nah dude, you're totally right, everything definitely is this fucked, are the only things keeping us sane around here. Howling into the void hit a little different when you can hear a few people howling back and telling you that you're not crazy. Make sure you downvote the video anyway though, dead name me in the comments, and tell people not to subscribe to me because the best books are those that tell you what you know already.